This visualization shows the projected viewership for the 2026 World Cup. Over 6 billion people are expected to tune in, which means 3/4 of the human population will stop to watch a single event. In the early 20th century, international play was a fragmented mess. Nations missed tournaments due to bad weather, others were locked out by Olympic amateur rules, and in 1950, India even refused to play because FIFA wouldn't allow them to compete barefoot. The push for a unified game started on a ship in 1930, crossing the Atlantic to Uruguay. Aboard was FIFA President Jules Rimet, carrying a small golden trophy in a bag. He believed that nations could settle their rivalries on a pitch instead of a battlefield. Rimet's dream faced immediate resistance. The Great Depression made a 2-week sea voyage an impossible expense for most. Major European powers stayed home, and only 13 nations bothered to show up for the inaugural kickoff. The World Cup began not as a global triumph, but as a shaky, unwanted experiment that the world's superpowers initially ignored. Those early matches established a new reality. On a grass pitch, geopolitical dominance often counts for nothing. A small nation with a ball can dismantle a global power. We saw this in 1950, when Brazil built the Maracanã Stadium to hold 200,000 spectators for an assumed home victory. Instead, a tiny Uruguayan squad scored twice, creating a silence so profound it is still remembered in Brazil as a national tragedy. But the tournament nearly disappeared in the 1940s. As global conflict intensified, the games were halted entirely, and professional athletes were sent to the front lines as soldiers. During the occupation of Rome, FIFA Vice President Odorino Barassi secretly removed the golden trophy from a bank vault, wrapped it in an old cloth, and hid it in a shoebox under his bed. For 3 years it remained there, hidden from searching soldiers. The physical symbol of the game survived the mid-20th century through a single man's quiet defiance. When the games resumed, they produced legends. In 1958, a 17-year-old Brazilian named Pelé, who grew up practicing with a grapefruit stuffed into a sock, led his team to their first title. The underdog spirit continued with Garrincha in 1962. Despite doctors claiming his deformed legs would prevent him from running, he carried Brazil to a second consecutive victory after Pelé was sidelined by injury. As the tournament's fame grew, so did the chaos. In 1966, the trophy was stolen in London just months before the opening match, sparking a massive police search. The panic ended when a dog named Pickles discovered the trophy wrapped in newspaper under a garden bush. By 1986, the tournament had become a geopolitical battleground. When Argentina faced England, the memory of the Falklands War, fought just 4 years earlier, dominated the atmosphere. Diego Maradona's infamous handball goal, followed by his miraculous solo run, felt, in Buenos Aires, like a symbolic act of national vengeance. The sport was creating mythological figures, but the intense pressure proved the competition had outgrown its original restrictive boundaries. For decades, the World Cup was an exclusive loop between Europe and South America. The rest of the planet was locked out. In 1966, the entire African continent boycotted the tournament. They refused to play until FIFA guaranteed them their own qualification spots. This forced an expansion. FIFA eventually increased the field to 24 and then 32 teams, ensuring direct representation for every global region. This inclusion shifted the tournament's geography, bringing the game to the USA in 1994, Asia in 2002, and Africa in 2010. The World Cup only became a global event because marginalized nations fought and used boycotts to open its doors. That scaling reached a milestone in 2022, when Morocco became the first African nation to reach the semifinals. The run unified fans from Senegal to Egypt, turning a single team's progress into a shared victory for the Pan-African and Arab worlds. After the upset against Spain, star player Achraf Hakimi rushed to the stands to embrace his mother, a woman who had spent years cleaning houses in Madrid so her son could play. In 2026, this trajectory will expand to 48 teams competing across 16 cities in North America. Jules Rimet's May 1930 hypothesis that a ball and a patch of grass could command the attention of the entire planet is no longer a dream. It is the only event capable of pausing the daily lives of 6 billion people at the exact same moment.